because she had some serious health problems, and this was too strenuous for her. But they joined us later then. Okay, this is the Anne Frank house. Raise your hand. How many of you have been there? Yes, several of you. Anne Frank house. And what surprised me was that it was so small. It was like 4 or 5 levels, and the bottom 2, those were the offices and the factory for the family, and then everybody else was 8 people that lived upstairs. But it was just walking those steps was a killer. Okay. We spent a couple days in the Netherlands, and just beautiful. All over Europe, they're really trying to get rid of nuclear power. And this is ever since Chernobyl, they've got to get rid of nuclear power. And so you see a lot of windmills, and you see solar panels. Boy, some places is just, solar panels everywhere. Okay. But it was a beautiful day. Okay. Now, this is inside one of those windmills. This is an old windmill. And the reason they first had them, they wanted to grind up these things for dyes, special kind of dyes. They had to grind up everything very finely. But isn't that something? It's like it makes you think of a clock, doesn't it? Goes round and round and round. And I love this picture. It's Max Warren from Newton, Kansas, who took almost all these pictures. He was just so good. That's quite a reflection there, isn't it? Okay, this is quite a dike. It's like about 23 miles long. Actually, Mennonites are not always just farmers. This is an engineer. 23 miles long, and you keep the North Sea away. It was quite a feat to do that, to set up this dike. And from that dike, you could see different ships. And I don't know, I think there was some kind of a celebration with those old masted ships. And cows, of course. What surprised me, you see that field there? Well, we saw it. Okay, thanks, Phyllis. That's corn. Even Switzerland, a lot of corn. Now, we know we need corn to feed animals, but why else do you think they have all these cornfields all over the place? Ethanol plants over there, too. They really want to get rid of nuclear power, and there are ethanol plants everywhere. Okay, I love this, too. This is still in Holland. It's just a beautiful place. Okay, what we're standing in front of here, this is the hidden Mennonite church. The other churches could be very ornate, but this is one all the rulers said, you Mennonites, we don't want your churches to stick out. That would attract parishioners, I suppose. And they want them very plain. This is inside the Mennonite church. And it's Gary Waltner who led us through it. Okay, this is where Menno Simons, the one Catholic priest that left the Roman Catholic, and he professed his belief here. Okay, go on. And this wasn't really on our trip schedule, but when we heard we were going to drive right by it, we said we have to stop here. How many of you know what this is? This is a cathedral in Germany, and a famous one from Cologne, Germany. It's supposed to be about the most beautiful Gothic church in Europe, and it really was fantastic. And these churches are usually built on the ruins of other churches and over and over and over and over. And this actually, the building you see there took about 600 years. Yeah, wouldn't that overwhelm you to walk in there and see that? Just really beautiful. Okay. And the stained glass windows of peace were always very, very gorgeous. Okay, what are these people eating? There's a lot of poppy seed in that. There's one open air market when we get to Kiev, Russia, or Kiev, I say Russia, but Ukraine, where you could buy poppy seed by, I suppose, by the gallon. This is Switzerland here, very, very pretty. Flat. Now, were the Mennonites allowed to farm these nice valleys? Oh no, they had to farm the mountainsides. In fact, Shrog, my main name Shrog, means the steep side of the mountain. And that's, now how do you get up there to farm those straight rows? They had some kind, they call it a windlass, And I know the pioneers here in America, when they crossed the Alps, they used something called a windlass. So I'm going to have to Google that. But it's like you have a rope and you just pull yourself up. Okay, this is just something seen off the Rhine River, I think it was. Okay, next. Next. We're just going down the Rhine River here. You'll have to admit this Max Boren from Newton, Kansas, he's a pretty good photographer, isn't he? Look at how the clouds frame that. It's a really beautiful picture. Okay, next. Oh, okay, this is the outskirt of Kiev. Kiev. We finally got to Ukraine. It's kind of fun. Oh, yeah, wait there, Phyllis. When we got into the city, one side of the city were those ugly, ugly apartment buildings that go up to everywhere, and that the river goes right through, and the other side was just regular buildings, but all those skyscrapers that were the apartment buildings, they are kind of falling down. Here's a close-up. Aren't you glad you don't have to live like that? And all of their statues are so gigantic. Look at that thing. It's just huge. You have no idea how big that is. Keep going. So this is Kiev. Now the weekend we were there about 4 or 5 days. They were celebrating that Saturday, a special day, 1,250 years before that day. They had their leader, the Saint Vladimir, and he was kind of a character too. But anyway, he was the one that decided. He traveled all over Europe. He tried to find the right Christian church, and he was impressed with the Russian Orthodox, or Constantinople and Russian Orthodox. It was kind of like that. So that's why they became Christian, because he liked that church. Now, I don't know if this is Gypsy Woman or not, but I think she is. But this was right down in the middle of Kiev. Okay. And this man to the left is actually from Marion, South Dakota. I couldn't believe it. I'm from Marion, South Dakota. And that's Arlen Miller. It was kind of a rainy day, so there's another gypsy character.
What month were you traveling?
Okay, good question. We left July 23rd, I believe, and came back August something. We were gone about 16 days. So it was the end of July, first part of August. It was not too hot. It was good. I didn't need my coat, but anyway, you see all the gold and everything. When Stalin was in charge, he just really took any gold in any of these churches. He just stripped these churches bare, took them. So I don't know that if that's real gold on these churches right now. These are old churches. But he had to, he just used that gold to pay for a lot of the businesses. Now, the weekend we were there, every village has one of these churches, you know, they can be small, but they're all blue and they have kind of like a gold little crown like that one there. But none of those churches had any business. We didn't see any people by them. And what I've heard now is that the Ukraine, the Baptist church, is growing very quickly. So the Baptists are growing, which is good. But we really didn't see anybody at these churches. Okay, I love this picture. I still remember back in about 1970, it was a big deal. Richard Nixon made an agreement with Russia. We're making a trade agreement. We're going to start selling you Coca-Cola. Big deal. And right now in Kiev, you see big billboards for, Coca-Cola. And that's what they drink. They love their Coca-Cola. But that's because of Richard Nixon. So you should be proud. Isn't that beautiful? This is still Kiev. Many beautiful. And this was kind of a joke too, because the man that led our tour, he never had to use the rest facility, never. So the rest of us suffered, and finally we had it. We had to tell him we had to go to the restroom. We had a Ukrainian, oh, could you hold on that? Get back to the girl. This Anatola here, now the next one. Phyllis, the next one. Okay, hold on. This is his daughter. And she's not married, she has a child. She's very, very intelligent. And she has several college degrees. But she says, because I've got all this education, they have good schools there, I can't get a visa. She wants to get out of there. She cannot get a visa. They will not let her. She's supposed to stay there and do whatever it is with her college education. So just think, we've got the freedom to do what we want, you know. I just feel sorry, because she was really a fun gal, and she's got this daughter to raise now. Very nice people. Okay, now we're in the Ukraine countryside, and you'll see it's all kind of wild. Oh, hold it there, Phyllis. How do you like that road? Okay, Phyllis can go back to that. I have to tell you about the shortcut our bus took. All right, we were 3 different days from Kiev. We didn't stay in town. We went 3 different directions, finding these old villages. These old villages where the Mennonites had once lived. And this is true, they all had lived there. So the first thing we do, we hightail it to the cemeteries. We were hoping to find some of our family names there. No. They had big tombstones, and guess what the years were on a lot of them? 2002, 2004. Well, how can that be? Well, they only have so much space for a cemetery. So when, after so many years, like 5-10 years or whatever, they pick up that tombstone and the family takes it home and lines their little yard with it. And what happens to the bones there? I don't know. They put those someplace special too. But then they're ready, because it's the same